Hello, hello. This is the Ultimate Alice Guide. Alice is a grappler character that is able to wall opponents out with long-range attacks that are quick and have very low end lag. Her side special is her command throw, and it is able to kill at 100% and above, and you can also combo off of it to get kill confirms that are even below 100%. She also has a unique mechanic called Cake, where she can throw out a poisonous cake and a non-poisonous cake, or rather a tasty looking cake, and she is able to grow in size and shrink in size, and she can also do the same to the opponent. It is something that you throw out onto the field, and it also gives certain buffs and debuffs depending on which cake you throw. And the cake is a very key component to Alice's game plan. So now, I will explain, before you even get into a battle with Alice, you need to have the right sticker loadout. And so I'm right over here with all the stickers. In friendly battles, you have all the stickers unlocked, so keep that in mind. You'll be able to equip whatever you want. Obviously, if you are not in a friendly battle and you're just playing ranked or regular 1v1s, you might not have any stickers unlocked, but at the very least, you can keep this in mind so you know exactly what to look for and what to buy. Using these, you can buy the right ones, and then eventually you'll get her to level 10 and you'll be able to get the colorful stickers, which is very, very important. But I'll go over the red stickers first. So the red stickers, I recommend using normal attack and grab and throw, damage and KO power. The reason why is because her normal attack and her grab and throw are primarily how you're going to get kills. And so obviously it's important that you want also increased damage as well as KO power. For her skill, I don't recommend using skill because the only skill you're really going to be using, the only special attack you're really going to be using is her neutral special and her side special. Up special is just an up special. You're not really going to be using it other than just to recover. So, having damage and KO power doesn't make any sense. Her down special is not affected by it because that is her cake. And so it doesn't really make much sense to have skill. Also because her side special is used for combos. So if you have increased damage and KO power, it's going to send farther, and so it'll actually make it harder to combo at some percentages. Charge attack, never use it. It's useless on most characters. Some characters have a good F smash, but Alice's, I don't think, is one of them. Honestly, just forward air. Like literally forward air does forward smash's job, but better. I think that is all for the red. Yeah, honestly, I think the only loadout you should have is normal attack and grab and throw. I don't think there's any debate as to if there's anything better. I think that's simply the best and the only option you should be choosing for red stickers. For yellow stickers, there's multiple options here. The only right options I think you should be using is either tenacity, which I primarily use tenacity because Alice is a lightweight, and so it's nice to live longer because sometimes you just die mad early to just something completely random. I also use it on Macalon. I think tenacity is like a really good sticker overall because just living longer is very useful. Don't use weight. It's just bad, really bad. Actually, I think I can sell this. I'm gonna probably do that later. So yeah, I use tenacity mostly, but also some characters have very powerful grabs, like Fox and Macalon. Their grabs are very strong and they kill. So in that case, instead of using tenacity, you should be using, let's see, grab and throw defense with, right here, impregnable. You want to use this one against characters with really powerful grabs that kill mostly off of their grabs and don't have the craziest special moves. Like Macalon doesn't have like the most crazy strong special moves other than down special. But same with Fox. Fox's side special attacks in general are not that crazy. I don't think they even kill at all. So I would definitely use this sticker. Also, Lan is also a good character where you should be using grab and throw defense because post patch Lan, his only way to kill is through his grabs. He's pretty much never going to kill anything other than a straight hit or just grab. So obviously this is the right choice. Also, you have another option here. You could just choose to go with aerial speed and ground speed and just try and outspeed the opponent and overwhelm them with a lot of pressure. I mean, that is an option, but keep in mind you're gonna die earlier, so you got to be careful with that. I like using defense because I don't want to get hit by a straight hit and just die for it, but it's your call. If you want to use this movement speed, you can do so, and you could also use only tenacity or grab and throw, impregnable. You can use either or. It's up to you. It depends on your playstyle and what you want to look for when you play Alice. But for me, I like mixing matching them sometimes, but primarily using defense. Now for the most important part is the colorful stickers. So I think there's only 3 right options here. The one you should never use is Bubble Gatling, because it is just not that good. Her neutral special is already long enough. There's no reason to make it last longer. Like, it's not good for ledge trapping. It's not good off stage because it has no priority. And I'll explain this later, but her neutral special is mostly just used to build meter, and you can also get combos off of it if you hit it at point blank. But even still, that has a lot of risk. So her neutral special is not used very frequently. So I definitely would recommend it. But what I do recommend always having is Crushing Rock. I think you should always have this equipped no matter what. This is a must-have. If you have the option to pick a colorful sticker on Alice, like you get like a reward for something, and you're able to pick out whichever colorful sticker you want. Pick Crushing Rock. It's broken. It is so good. It gives her early kill confirms. Like, she's able to kill underneath 100%. I've killed it like 40% off of a command throw because I got a tipper forward air. It's just really, really good to have this tipper, because your forward air is gonna be a tipper, your up air is gonna have a tipper, which also you have a kill confirm that'll kill it like 60%, sometimes a little bit earlier than that. Also her jab 1 has a tipper, but it's not really that crazy. It's just jab 1, and her F smash has a tipper, but you don't need to use ever. You don't ever need to use F smash, so don't even worry about that. But forward air and up air, that's what makes this so good. And then so for the second sticker is up to you. I would primarily use Sharp Scissors because it makes your down air a 2-hit move, so it's more active, and your up tilt is a 2-hit move, also does shield damage, so it'll be much stronger against people that are trying to shield. Also, because the down air, since it's because it's a 2-hit move, it'll be more active, and so you can spike people much easier. So you also have the option of using Containing Paper other than Sharp Scissors, and the only time I would recommend using Containing Paper is when you're fighting characters that are very projectile heavy. So you have characters like S17 or Mr. 5. You also have a Magician, is definitely a big one, which you can use the reflector for it. Me personally, I don't frequently use it because I find it a lot nicer to use Sharp Scissors because I can get spiked consistently off stage. And I also don't think reflectors are that great in this game. I think overall they're kind of underused. I mean, there's not a lot of characters that have reflectors, but I don't usually find a use for it, and I find it to be very cumbersome to have it. I think that's the right word, cumbersome, maybe, perhaps. See, look, I'm using vocabulary now. But yeah, I think Sharp Scissors is usually the best bet. But if you're having trouble with projectile heavy characters, just use Containing Paper. So it's a good alternative. So that should be like the stickers that you use. You got the yellow stickers, which is up to you. You got the red stickers, which I think is only one option, and always have Crushing Rock. So now I'm gonna go and showcase every move that Alice has and what purpose it has. I'll do it on my favorite stage. Alright, so actually before I go over every move that Alice has, I will explain her game plan. So when I explain these moves, you'll understand how it works with the game plan that Alice has. Alice's game plan is to play keep away and keep the opponent away from her, and also hit them off stage. Hitting them off stage is very important for Alice. And then when you hit them off stage, which they'll usually be around mid-percent, when you get a forward air, like a tipper forward air, and they'll be sent off stage. When they're sent off stage, the first thing you want to do is always go and throw it a big cake. And I'll explain why it's so good. I mean, you could obviously see that it does a lot for Alice here. I'll explain it in greater detail on why this sort of game plan is very important. So actually let me explain a little bit of what cake does. What cake does is it makes Alice bigger, but also she gains weight. So now she's heavier. I think she's like probably like a heavyweight. She also has higher range, as you can see. She also has more combos that are opened up because of it. She's able to do chain grabs and you know, really cool combos that are usually pretty much impossible without having the big cake. And also, when you have big cake, after you have the cake, is you want to hit them off stage or just straight up kill them. And the reason why is because if you hit them, you can now throw out another cake, another off stage again. And so you want this to be like an endless loop where you're just constantly hitting them off stage and keeping them away so that they're never able to get anything going. And also, in my opinion, I think Alice with cake is definitely a top tier. She obviously without cake, she's not a top tier right now. I think people would consider her to be mid tier. Some would actually even say she's a low tier. But I think because she has the option of throwing out a big cake, she has a much better fighting chance against a lot of characters. But I will explain later on, you know, what her weaknesses are and what's holding her back. But her advantage state is not lacking by any means. So understand that Alice has a great advantage state, but her disadvantage state is not so great. But overall, that's what the game plan is. You want to hit them off stage, wall them out, and then immediately go for big cake. Your entire game plan needs to be centered around big cake. Alright, so now I'll explain every attack that Alice has and what purpose it serves. The first, I will go over all her aerials first. Her forward air is, because of Crushing Rock, you know, it has a tipper. There you go, that's the tipper hitbox, and this is the non-tipper hitbox. The tipper will make it kill much earlier. As you can see, it sends super far just like that, and she's only at mid percent. It is her best neutral tool. So this move you should be using in neutral mostly. Like this is like #1 move that you should be using as an Alice player, is always throwing out forward airs, because it's a disjointed move. It's safe if you space it well. Also, it kills if you space it well. It sends extremely far, and it's you know, it's a fast move, pretty low end lag, and you know, as long as you space it right, it'll keep the opponent away. Also, when you're using forward air, I would highly recommend doing jump reads and stuff, because it is very good at jump reads. It's very good for jump reads. I think as an Alice player, you need to have you need to understand what your opponent does out of shield. You could either just keep pressuring them with forward airs, and but understand that they're gonna eventually jump, and you want to, you know, have a forward air ready for that, because it will do a lot for you. Alright, her second best move that I would say is, yeah, her second best neutral move is her Nair. Her Nair is a very fast attack that has like barely any end lag. I can throw out 3 with my double jump there. It's very fast, and I would say this move should be used when your forward air is, or rather when your opponent gets past the forward air and they're in your personal space. You want to have a neutral air there to keep them away. It's a very nice, quick get off me move, and you can also get like some small combos off of it. Like you can when the opponent jumps, you can nair. Let me see if I can show that here. Nair into nair. But they would be jumping. I wouldn't have to. I don't even need the platform. If they jump, I can nair into nair, and then I can like dash attack. Sometimes if they're at low percent, you can just do nair. Let me see. Nair into jab, and that's when the opponent jumps towards you. So you can do that as a jump read, as a little combo. It's pretty nice. But you could also just do forward airs. You know, forward air is always good. Neutral air, good get off me move, and it's safe. You know, obviously it's not disjointed, so you want to use it when the opponent is right in your face. The next move is up air. Up air kills very early when you sweet spot it. Her sweet spot is slightly behind her, which is pretty awkward, but it's basically behind her. So when you want a sweet spot with it, face away from the opponent. That's how you're gonna get the sweet spot. You don't want to be up airing them like this. If you want it, let's just say the Sophia is gonna jump. I would want to up air like this. I don't want to be up airing like this. You're not going to get the sweet spot if you up air like that. If you're going to do a jump read, face away from them. And yeah, overall, just face away from them if you want the sweet spot, and it kills very early. And there's also like a back air to up air combo. She's at 200%. It's for mid percent, but it does combo into a sweet spot up air perfectly, because obviously your back air will you're facing away. And speaking of back air, let me go over back air now. Back air is a very fast move that is a 2-hit move, and it is very hard for the opponent to punish it, because it has very low end lag. It also has a nice little combo, you know, which I explained earlier, back air to up air. That's a thing at mid percent, and it kills very early. I think you can DI out of it, but most opponents won't. You hit the back air into up air, and that's sweet spot up air, by the way. And then the last move is or or last aerial is down air. Down air should be used exclusively off stage and on the ledge. On the ledge, it does 2-frame. However, in my experience, it's pretty hard to hit. But when you have cake, it is very, very good. It becomes extremely disjointed, and it is very easy to hit that down air. And I forgot to explain as a little bonus, her forward air, it 2-frames. You can 2-frame with forward air, although it's very difficult. So I mostly use forward air when the opponent's grabbing ledge or holding on to ledge for too long. And once their invincibility runs out like that, you can actually just forward air them if you space it perfectly at like pretty much towards the tipper, because she aims a little bit low or a little bit down when she's forward airing. It's much easier to do when you have big cake, by the way. It's very difficult when you don't have big cake, but it's pretty easy when you have big cake. You can 2-frame and hit the opponent on ledge if they're scared to come back and they just hold on to ledge for too long. Yeah, down air, mostly just using it off stage. You want to use that as just a spike just to kill them. On stage is not that useful. You know, I haven't really found too many uses for it because you could just forward air and air. It does a better job than down air will. So yeah, down air is just used to kill people off stage. And now for her special moves, we'll start with her up special, which a lot of Alice players probably hate her up special because it is what gets her killed most of the time. So in terms of how far it goes, it's pretty good. You know, it's like, I would kind of relate this to like it's like K rules. You know, King K rules up special, but without the disjoint. And so it becomes an issue for Alice because counters counteract it very easily because this is an active hitbox. So characters like Yuri, she can just completely destroy you for it. So I think later on I'll explain her disadvantage state and what you should do against certain options so you can actually recover properly without just getting blown up every time you get off stage. But overall, it's a sad attack that a lot of people don't like. And yeah, it goes far, it's nice, but it can be exploited very heavily. Also, the up special can cheese people because it's like a multi-hit. So if they don't hit you and they're right on you, they'll end up getting hit by the up special like 10 times. And so it'll mix up their timing for when they should be teching the stage. And sometimes they'll just not be able to tech because they don't know when they're supposed to tech. Kind of funny. Sometimes you'll be able to get cheesy kills with your up special. So now her neutral special. Her neutral special is the bubbles. And so the bubbles have a multi-hit moves into one final bubble. The multi-hit is really good for building meter because if Sophia shields, which I will showcase right now, and there you go, you get full meter, as you can see on the top, which if you don't know what her meter does, it empowers her next grab. Not her command throw, but her regular grab. And so her forward air, or forward throw will be stronger, and her back throw will be very strong. Back throw is much stronger, and it kills very early. I would say a little under 100%, you should be getting kills on the ledge. So it is very strong, and that is one of the main uses for using bubbles. Is if the opponent shields, it will build up your meter. You do have to read when they shield because they can sometimes, I mean, it's, you know, it's not the fastest move and you got to actually like get right next to them to do it. So you have to be able to read or at least bait it by, you know, maybe like try and bait them like you're going to forward air them and then you just go in and just bubble them. And I think that's a very effective way to use it. For me, I use it for building meter, but also there's another use for it. And that is, let me turn off the AI. And another use for it is when you're point blank, you can combo off of it into a bunch of cool stuff. But there is something that I do need to explain, and that is there is a gap between her multiple bubbles and her final bubble. And this can be, basically opponents can run out of it. If they're shielding the beginning of bubbles, they can just run out before the big bubble even comes out. And you can get punished for that. So it is not, you know, the most reliable move. So definitely don't go around abusing it because you're gonna get punished for it pretty heavily. Yeah, so like the only good thing about it is the fact that you can build meter, but also if you're able to get the final hit of bubble, you can combo off of it with like literally anything. You can combo into down air on ledge. You can combo into side special, up air, forward air. Like literally any move you want, you can pretty much combo off of it. I've even gotten like bubble into bubble combos. So you know, you can have fun with it. I think there's one move that if you learn how to master it and you know use the advantage state that you gain from it, you know, from getting that last hit of bubble, you know, trying to like find the most optimal punish out of the final hit of bubble, you know, that could be useful. But overall, definitely don't abuse this move. It is not incredible, and yeah, I'd recommend like as a starter, just use it just to build meter when you read when the opponent shields, because her empowered grab is very powerful. All right, now a very useful move is her side special. Her side special is a you know, command throw, and so if the opponent is shielding, they will not be able to. They'll be grabbed if they're shielding. If they're not shielding, they'll be grabbed. If they're shielding, they'll be grabbed. So it also, you know, it's a disjoint. It is slow. Keep that in mind. So don't throw this out a lot. This is I would primarily use side special as a mix-up. When you're forwarding them a ton, you know, you're conditioning them to shield. And when they do shield, you can go and run in and side special. You could also jump read with it if they jump. And to explain the move itself, it has 4 different ways you can throw. You can throw down, you can throw back, which back has pretty much no uses from what I've seen, so don't do that. Forward, it's only good in niche situations when the opponent's, when you get like a forward throw all the way over here. You know, that's like the only time you're ever gonna need to use forward throw. You got up, which is only good for killing when the opponent is a bit above 100%. But the one you're gonna be using primarily is down throw, because you can get combos off of it. For small Alice, the main combo you're gonna be getting is side special to space forward or tipper. When you are big, you have another combo route. Oh, hold up. Oh wow, it actually doesn't despawn. It's crazy. So you have this combo. You can do a re-grab combo. That's 2 down throws. Down throw into jump down throw and to jump forward air. And I'm holding forward when I do that forward air. That can be DI'd by up and in. And so the final hit of forward air will not be true. If they DI up and in, that is not true. So what you want to do in that case is when you're big Alice and you know the opponent knows how to DI it, just take the 1 grab, space it. You can hold back even further and try and get the tipper there. Oh, ran out of cake. But tipper does kill very early with big Alice. And yeah, so side special, yeah, forward throw. Only use it when the opponent's like super far off stage and you somehow get a grab, which there is a way to do that with big Alice, which I'll explain later. Back throw, pretty much never use it. There's always a better alternative. Down throw, just your combo move. You can chain grab it. But with small Alice, is not consistent. You can't really get that forward air consistently when you do 2 grabs. Yeah, usually they're going to be out of range, so that's why you only want to use it exclusively when you have big cake. But now her down special, which is something that a lot of Alice players need to heavily focus on because this is what her game plan relies on, her big cake. So to explain her cake in general, she has a tasty looking cake which makes her grow in size, and she has a poisonous cake, which is, it makes people shrink. And if you want my opinion on poison cake is bad. Don't use it. I don't think it is nearly as good as throwing out a big cake, because big cake will increase your range, increase your kill power. It'll give you new combo options. It gives you so much range that pretty much no opponent can contest you. You can just eat through literally everything. You know, your forward air hits on ledge really easily when you're large. So pretty much, if you're just forward airing on ledge, like what does your opponent do? You're forward airing here. What do? The only option I've ever seen an opponent do is wait on ledge, and all that does is it lets me get another cake, or I can just ledge trap with regular size Alice, you know, with like a down air or something. But also another option that opponents love doing is jumping, and when they jump, you can just call them out by just up airing them. They're gonna try and jump forward, just up air them, or just jump higher than forward air. So forward air on ledge, when you have big cake, is the #1 option. Just forward air, just spam forward air. Make sure you do it spaced well enough that when their invincibility runs off on ledge, they'll immediately get forward air and die for it. And I think I already explained this, but you know, big cake increases her weight, it increases her power, increases her range. You know, so it does a lot for her. It turns her into a top tier. You know, people are like, oh, she gets comboed though when she's big. but you shouldn't be getting comboed because her disjoints are so crazy that there's no way you should be getting comboed as Big Alice. If you get comboed as Big Alice, that's because you did a poor job in neutral and you didn't keep the opponent away when you have the craziest disjoints in the game. Also, to explain why, I don't think I explained why this is bad. So this is bad. The poison cake is bad because it so obviously you're not gonna want to, you know, throw it to yourself because it does negative effects rather than positive effects. So poison cake you want to throw towards your opponent, and when you do, what it will do is it will shrink them, make them smaller. They will take more knockback by they're gonna die like roughly 10% earlier than normal, which is not that crazy if you ask me, because with Alice I find myself killing 20 or 30% earlier because of Big Cake. Granted, it takes longer to throw a Big Cake because you know, that's the way they balanced it, is it takes around a second to throw it out. But for Poison Cake, it's also bad because when you throw it out, you don't know if your opponent's gonna grab it. It's not like Big Cake where you just throw it to yourself and you know you're gonna grab it. When you throw out the Poison Cake, the opponent might just not want to grab it because obviously it's bad. So in that case, if you miss and they don't grab the Big Cake or the small cake, you won't be able to throw out another cake. So what do you do then? What do you do in that situation? You can't really do anything. Like you're stuck. Your whole game plan is reliant on having Big Cake, and if you throw out the Poison Cake, then what do you do? Because now if you hit the opponent off stage, you have a Poison Cake on the field that you have to wait for it to despawn just so you can throw out a Big Cake so you can actually have stage control again, and you'll be able to wall the opponent out. And also if you grab it, now you have to wait to go back to your normal size in order to throw out a cake again, and you're debuffed. So it's like, it's just not good. You're never gonna want to use it. And also your opponent's harder to hit when you have poison, but with a small cake. I think, oh yeah, also their range, you know, this is obvious, but their range is decreased when they have the small cake. But from what I've seen, their up special goes the same amount of distance. So it's not that you can use it like off stage and like throw it at them off the stage. You know, this move is like okay on ledge, but like you can't forward air because you're gonna hit the cake, because her forward air or her moves in general, like her hand is a hitbox. But from what I've seen, they have like a good amount of priority, so you're not gonna have like the Mewtwo case where your tail is just constantly getting hit by whatever random attacks. Her forward air or just moves with her arms in general is it has pretty high priority, so you're not gonna ever really get counter hit too often, but you can get counter hit if you whiff your opponent. But if you don't whiff, you're gonna just hit them and you're gonna be fine. All right, now I'm just gonna explain her tilts and F smash. You know, up tilt, down tilt, and F smash. Her up tilt is a 2-hit move when you have the sticker. Also, I'll explain jab too. But her up tilt is a 2-hit move with the sticker, the scissor sticker, and at low percent it does combo into up air, into sweet spot up air, just like so. It is. I don't think you can DI out of it, and I don't think the opponent's able to jump out either. And you actually constantly you'll see the opponent try to jump out, but it'll just catch them. The up air will just catch them anyways. So it's a nice little confirm, you know, but it doesn't really kill. Maybe with Big Alice you can get kills off of it at around mid percent, but that's something I'll need to experiment with later. Overall, up tilt, it's a decent move. I wouldn't abuse it too much, but at low percent you can use it when the opponent gets close to you on the ground, because of the scissor sticker, this does do more shield damage, so the opponent will have to respect it because of the shield damage it does. Also, it has a pretty decent disjoint, so you can use it as like an anti-air, and you can get uppers off of it just like that. It also has very little end lag, as you can see. Like, it has very little end lag, so it's a decent move. I would recommend only using it at low percents. Once the opponent's at higher percent, there's not really much of a need to use it because you're not gonna get any combos off of it. So now for down tilt, I find myself using down tilt less and less the more I play Alice. Like, the only use I see is when I do like the double nair combo, I can do like a down tilt and maybe like go for a mix up forward air depending on what the opponent does. But you know, it hits 2-frame, but in my opinion it's not that great of a 2-frame because it'll send them like right where I'm at right now. It doesn't send them anywhere, and so the opponent can just, like, they can send over here, they can just air dodge back to stage. They'll just air dodge, or they'll just jump and air dodge, And so you're not going to be able to like continuously loop them by hitting them with down tilts off stage. Like it's a nice 2-frame, but the problem with it, it's not like Sophia or Sia's down tilt, where, you know, Sophia's, it'll hit them off stage again, so they'll have to recover again, and then Sophia will continuously get 2 frames, and so it's nice. But with Sia, you can get you know, forward airs or up airs or down airs. You can get a bunch of follow-ups off of it. But with Alice, you can't really get anything off of it. It just sends them a little bit, and it doesn't really do much damage either. What was that, 4%? Yeah, well, it's like 4%. It's like nothing. So why would you use it? I don't see any. It has a nice disjoint. It's, you know, it's deceivingly disjointed, and I find myself like having way higher priority against my opponent's attacks when I use down tilt, which is nice. Also, it doesn't have a lot of end lag, so you can throw it out a lot. But overall, it's not incredible. Yeah, the only use is like it 2 frames, but overall it's just, I wouldn't recommend going for it, you know, because you're not really going to be going for 2 frames, because when the opponent's off stage, you're going to be going for big cake, and then when you have big cake, you're not going to be down tilting, you're going to be forward airing, because you want a 2-frame with forward air. You want to go out there and spike them with down air. That's what you want to do with Alice. Instead of going for 2 frames when you're small, a regular size Alice, you're going to be throwing out big cake. All right, now her jab, you know, jab 1, if you have Crushing Rock, which you should always have, you know, the colorful sticker, it has a sweet spot, which, I mean, doesn't really matter that much, to be honest. Look at that, ooh, sweet spot jab. But and her jab 2, it's affected by the scissor sticker, so it's a 2-hit move, which will do more shield damage, but, you know, it's not that crazy. Then her last one is just regular throw, hit them away, but it's just a jab. There's nothing really much to explain about it. It's really just a regular old jab. So it's a good, like, you know, it's just a jab. Just use it like a jab. With other characters, you know, you got a jab, this is a jab. That's it. And then, so you have forward smash. Forward smash, never use it. You can tilt it. Like, if I remember how to use it, there you go. You can tilt it up and down. Which, yeah, cool. It increases in range the longer you charge it, but yeah, don't use it. It just kind of sucks. It's laggy. Why would you use it when you can just forward air, and you can do it in the air, so you can re-jumps with it? With this, like, yeah, cool. What are you doing here? Like, if you whiff, you're just gonna get punished. If you whiff forward air, you're gonna be able to just continue to forward air. You're not really gonna get punished for it. So don't ever F smash. It's just useless. All right, so now I'm gonna go over combos. Combos, which I already explained pretty briefly. You know, Alice isn't a very combo heavy character, so the only combos you're really going to be using is, like, you know, nair into like jab. You know, that's at very low percent. You got nair, and this is when you jump read them, by the way. They have to be airborne in order to do this combo. So you have nair into down tilt. You have nair into dash attack, which I don't think is always true, but it is a good option, because a lot of people won't be ready to shield. And also you can get like sweet spot dash attack, which also is affected by her Crushing Rock sticker, which is nice. It doesn't really ever kill too often though. Like, it's pretty rare to kill with dash attack. Oh, I didn't even explain dash attack, but yeah, dash attack is just it's just a dash attack. You know, I wouldn't go too crazy using it, but it's a good, like, it's just only used for burst options. Only use it when you're like trying to catch him by surprise. You'll just throw it a dash attack, or after, you know, the nair combo. But that's more like mid percent, I think, from what I've seen, from what I remember. And then so that's like nair combos. You got back air to up air. I think she's at 200% right now, so let me get her to, I'll get her to around 50%. Let's restart it, and there you go. That kills. That's a kill confirm with Alice. It can be DI'd, but typically people won't be ready to DI it, so you can get back air to up air, which a sweet spot up air, which back air leads it perfectly because she's facing backwards and the sweet spot is backwards. That's like 1 kill confirm. And we also have a low percent up air, or up tilt to up air. It's another combo. We have, you know, the side special combos with down throw. You can get that into a tipper forward air. Down throw, tipper forward air. That wasn't a tipper, but if it was, that would have killed. And then we also have bubbles, which you can get pretty much anything off of it, but it's not super reliable of a move, so don't go too crazy. And those are basically all of Alice's combos when she's normal size. Like if if the opponent DIs in to her down throw like this, you can actually up air them, which is like, you know, people don't really DI in. They usually DI away, which isn't technically the right answer. But if they do DI in, you can just up air them. I've also done like a down throw into bubbles, but it's only really consistent when you're large in size. And speaking of that, I will go over her cake combos now, which her cake combos are a lot different. When she has big cake, she has new options. She has new combos, new combo routes. Some combos are extended. She has new mix-ups and setups that she has, and it's really interesting. So let me restart it so she can be at 0%. There we go. I want the normal. There we go. We have side special to side special down. So I'm doing 2 throws, down throw, down throw, down throw, down throw, jump, forward air. And it'll almost always lead into a sweet spot forward air. So that does kill on ledge very early. There we go, 35%, and she's dead. So it's very powerful. Also, I forgot to mention, when Alice has big cake, her side special becomes a much better move, and I use it almost as much as forward air. When Alice is normal size, I would not recommend using side special that much. It's more of a mix-up, and when you know your opponent is going to do a certain option, you'll read them with the side special. But when Alice is big in size, because of how disjointed it is, you're almost never going to get punished for using it, because it's just, the range is absurd on it. And also they can't shield it because it's a command throw. So it's very, very strong of an option. When she has big cake, use side special and use forward air, like pretty much hand in hand. Also, when Alice has big cake, you know, her downer on ledge, like I said earlier, becomes very strong of an option. You know, forward air on ledge, those are like the 2 good options that you want to do, is downer on ledge and forward air on, as a ledge trap. Also, when Alice has big cake, bubbles become a much more consistent combo. Or it becomes a lot more consistent because the bubbles are larger, so it's harder for the opponent to get out of it. And also, you can use it with a momentum cancel, or whatever the hell I would call it. You can slide it, basically, which I'm going to explain that now. This is something that a lot of people, that most Alice players want to know how this works, because this is something that pretty much I exclusively do. I haven't really seen Alice players abuse it as much as me, but I'm going to be explaining the momentum boost with Alice Big Cake. So because of Big Cake, she gains a speed boost. As you can see, she becomes her initial dash becomes extremely fast. So you can foxtrot like crazy, and even just her regular run speed is just, it's really nice. And so you can actually use that and abuse it by so there's 3 different options. Run off the stage, big boost. Run off the platform, you get a boost. Run off the stage, big boost. Look at how far I went. Extremely far. And then the third option is a dash jump. As you can see, I go way further than normal. And so this can be multiplied, basically, by using a side special. As you can see, I go extremely far when I do that. And this also works when you're running off the platform or running off the stage. It sends you so far that you need to use all your resources in order to get back. And off the stage, if I time it right, there you go. I wonder if I can go further than that. I might be able to. There we go. Yeah, that was right. That's how it should look. And so those 3 options are very strong, specifically with side special, because obviously if you use this off stage, you're going to be killing the opponent with a forward throw. And this is the niche thing that I was explaining earlier with side special, how you can kill with forward throw, but only when you're going off stage like that with her momentum boost. And remember, it's dash jumps, run off the platform, and run off the stage, or run off any ledge, basically. And if you mix that with the side special and you time it properly, you'll get a momentum boost. And use that off stage. So there's certain setups like back throwing them. Back throwing the opponent will put them at a good range to do the momentum throw. I need to come up with a name for it, so in the comment section, please come up with names for me, because I have no clue what to name it. But yeah, I haven't seen any other Alice players do it. So I'm just gonna go out and say I discovered it. Now, but I discovered it when I first started playing Alice. I learned it by myself, and I haven't seen any other Alice players abuse it. And I do think it's an extremely powerful option because if you go off stage like this, they're gonna die at like 30%. If you throw them at like 30% and then you just forward throw them, they're just dead. I'm pretty sure you could probably kill them at 0. But if you just simply just do this into down throw and into forward air. Now, understand that when you do the side special off stage like this, it burns a ton of resources. So, you know, you're going to be like taking a while to get back to stage. And if you whiff, your opponent's likely going to get back to stage before you do. And in that case, it's not really that big of a deal because if you didn't whiff and you actually hit them with it, they would be dead. And that's a trade that I'm willing to take because, yeah, it's worth it. You should be going for it. And if the opponent knows you're going to do it and they try air dodging, just bait them. Bait them out with a forward air. So instead of going for side special, just pretend like you're going to go for it. They're going to air dodge and you just forward to them. And then boom. What do they do now? Now it's a 50-50 that they have death in both options. And that's what makes Alice's Big Cake so scary off stage is there's this like, you have this 50-50 where you could either die or you could die. And it's a coin flip that you have to guess properly. There's also a momentum boost with initial dash. You can slide with certain attacks. So jab is one of them, as you can see. Up tilt is another one. Neutral special is another one. Side special is not really. I guess a little bit of a boost. Yeah, I mean, there's a boost with it. So you could also use that. Yeah, but up tilt and jab is very strong. Down tilt is not one because it halts your momentum always. As you can see, that's like, it's really nice. So you can use that to suddenly get into your opponent's face by just sliding. And when you slide like that, what I'm doing is an initial dash and then letting go of the stick. When I do this, I do an initial dash and then my stick is back in neutral and I'm up tilting. So I'm not holding forward, which you actually can do, and it still does the same thing. For me, I just let go of the stick and, you know, up tilt or whatever. Yeah, you can literally hold forward and do it too, so it's nice. So those are two different ways to do it, you know. The momentum boosting crap, I don't know what you want to call it. You know, give me name suggestions because I'm gonna claim it as mine. I haven't even seen any Japanese players abuse it. If there is any Japanese players that do use it frequently, let me know because I wanna see. But I definitely think Alice players need to start doing this. Like I see no reason why an Alice player should not be doing it. Because if you hit the opponent off stage, you can just kill them just like that. They're dead if they get thrown. And if you whiff, then, you know, you're giving up stage control, like boo-hoo. Like, it's not that big of a deal because the opponent's not going to be able to, like, set up anything crazy on ledge in that amount of time. So go for it. Always go for it. All right, now for the next section is I'm going to explain disadvantage state. So disadvantage state is, you know, either when you're in the air and you're getting, like, juggled by, like, Sophia or Thanatos. Also, if you're off stage and you're trying to recover back to stage. What are the best options? So I'm going to go over when she's getting juggled. When she's getting juggled, what you want to do is either you want to just time an air dodge or just go back to ledge. Literally just use your resources, go back to ledge. Because sometimes you're just not going to be able to land. You know, if you're fighting like a Thanatos, he has a two hit up air. And it is very hard to air dodge through that. Because you have to time your air dodge very, very well. And even still, you can just get frame trapped into getting dash attacked by Thanatos, which is very common. And a lot of the time, you just want to just retreat the ledge. Retreat the ledge and just deal with the ledge trapping and try and get around it. I wouldn't recommend like doing like counter hits by like, you know, like if you're trying to land, you just, oh, let me just downer them and counter hit them. This downer is not that disjointed. You know, it's not that great. So I would not do that. When you're big Alice, you can try. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but the opponent will usually calculate the fact you're large Alice into their juggle, so they'll work around it, and they'll understand that you have the downer as a disjoint, and they'll usually be able to still hit you. So usually just retreat to ledge or just time and air dodge. That's the only way. I mean, you can try mixing up with your jump, and then fast fall and air dodges and stuff. You know, just very typical. You don't really have any counter hit moves for dealing with juggles. And now for the, I think the more important part is how do you recover with Alice without getting absolutely blown up by half the cast. So there's two different options. When the first option, which usually works on most characters, is you gotta hug the stage. Absolutely hug the stage, and the reason why is because characters like Sophia's counter, it'll just hit you towards the stage, and in that case, just literally tech. All you gotta do is tech, and then just immediately uppy again, and then get back to ledge. If people are trying to spike you, like Thanatos was trying to spike me here, I can just tech the stage, hold towards the stage, and just tech, and that's another option that works. And so pretty much you shouldn't be dying if you're hugging the stage while you're up specialing. Also, when you're dealing with Kamiki Yuri's counter. Kamiki Yuri's counter is a big issue because you cannot do this. You cannot hug the stage and try and tech her counter because it actually sends you not towards the stage but towards the blast zone. And in this case, the only option you really have is to go around, and this kind of sucks. You can also try and bait it out because she has a lot of range on her up special. You can try and mix up the timing, but realistically, they're going to be able to counter you, and the only option you really have is just to try and go around them and avoid it. So it's tough. So you're going to want to really push your advantage state to its absolute maximum potential so you can, you know, do some like counteracting to your bad disadvantage state. Let's see, oh yeah, like Macalon down air, which is like really disjointed. You're pretty much screwed. Like you shouldn't be winning that matchup. Well, you can win the matchup, I should say. You know, it's very possible, but if the Macalon really understands how to use downer on ledge, you're not going to come back to stage pretty much ever. So that's another reason why you just have to really press your advantage state as far as possible. And that is the only way I think Alice can survive in the meta, is by having a brutally strong advantage state. And her advantage state is strong, really strong. When you have Bake Cake, she has, in my opinion, one of the strongest advantage states in the game. It is just brutal. Like, you can kill off of like 2 hits. So that's like the biggest issue with Alice. I don't think there's any other like big issues. She has a pretty good moveset overall, but her up special is the one thing that's really holding her back. And I think that's the same with like Thanatos. You know, it's very exploitable, but you know, there is ways to work around it. Now for the last part, is how will Alice's meta progress? How do we get Alice to go up in the tier list and innovate some new tech where she will improve and thrive in this meta? I think the first thing is learning how to use Cake and really abusing all the mechanics that Cake gives you. Specifically, Alice mains, use the momentum boost. Use it. There's no reason why you shouldn't. If you can kill somebody at 30% using the momentum boost, do it. You know, there's certain setups, you know, back throws, you know, sometimes forward airs will set them up far enough where you can get a nice, you know, boost. So you want to typically send them, you know, somewhat at a high angle, and then they'll be at a really nice range to boost throw them and then kill them. That's not all, you know, just understanding how to, like, you know, ledge trap really well with her, you know, getting those 2-frame forward airs on ledge, you know, making sure that when you have Big Cake, if you use it completely, you're at the very least, the last hit you're getting will send them off stage, and you'll be able to throw out another cake in time. That is ideal. You want to be able to just continuously loop, so that they're never going to come back to stage, and you'll always have Big Cake on. Also, I think another thing that Alice players should be doing to really increase her advantage state is using bubbles for specifically building meter. I think this is actually really undervalued, but the really great thing about it is when you have meter built, her back throw will send them far enough, and also she's able, what is it? I think what class is this character called? I believe, well, either way, when you have meter filled, whatever throw you have, it will you'll be able to cancel out of it. So if I have meter, I'll be able to cancel into a down special, and I'll be able to throw out Cake pretty much immediately. As you can see, at 0%, I was able to throw Sophia pretty much far enough away where I was able to throw out a Big Cake safely. And so having the ability to throw them away and immediately get a Big Cake will pretty much immediately give you a very strong advantage state. So I think using bubble to build your meter and farm meter a lot will make the opponent very scared of you and very scared of getting grabbed, also because back throw kills very early. So you can also get kills from grabs now because you have meter built. I think another thing, or lastly, is being able to use side special to tipper forward air consistently. And this is something that I'm currently working on to try and get as consistent as I can, because, you know, obviously the opponent can DI whichever direction they want, but this combo, you can always get a tipper forward air. It doesn't matter how they DI. If you read their DI properly, you can always get a tipper forward air. And so I think getting that consistently will not only give you more time to throw out cake, and you'll have a bigger percentage window to have cake thrown without the opponent, you know, rushing you down, but also you'll be able to kill earlier because, you know, the tipper forwarder kills very early. So you'll be able to get consistent kills even when you're not even big Alice. You can just get a side special as small Alice and kill underneath 100% with a tipper forwarder on ledge. So those are like the main things that I think an Alice player needs to learn to really go even further into the meta. You know, there might be more things in the future, but yeah, I think Alice is a character that is very underrated right now, and I think there's a lot of potential, but players just haven't fully tapped into it, and, you know, myself included. I'm still not all the way there, and I'm still learning stuff every day with Alice, but I think Alice has the opportunity to get to the top of mid-tier, in my opinion, and in the right hands, I think you can be winning tournaments with her consistently. You know, she has like a lot of big disadvantages, but you know, if you can really push her advantage state, you can definitely be winning tournaments with her. I hope you learned something. I hope you feel more willing to play Alice. You know, she's a very fun character, and I really loved her back in season 8 when she was able to literally throw out big cake like frame 1. It was broken. Like, she was like top 5 in the game. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. You know, I hope you learned something, and you know, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. And, you know, if you have any questions, you know, leave it in the comment section. Also, like I said earlier, help me come up with a name for the boost grab. I don't know what I want to call it, because, like, it's not only a boost grab. Like, you can slide cancel jabs and slide cancel up airs and neutral specials. It's like, what do you call this? It's like, it's some sort of momentum thing with her big cake, but I have no clue. So come with a name for it. Also, if you have questions in general about Alice, you know, like specific questions, I'll be able to try and, you know, help you out and answer those questions. You know, I'm on Discord if you have the Discord or not. You know, if you don't have the Discord, you can always ask me, and I'll try and send you the Ego server, so you can ping me whenever you have any questions relating to Alice. You can also just leave a comment in the comment section, ask me whatever you want. I forgot to mention this, but like right now, I would say I'm probably the best Alice in North America. So I probably know more than most Alice players. So hopefully I'll be able to answer whatever you got. But if I'm not able to answer it, then I'm definitely going to have to do more studying. So hopefully you guys have some questions that are like challenging, but even still, whatever questions you have, I'll be more than happy to answer. Alrighty, I hope you have a great day, evening, or night, and be sure to take care, keep grinding, and stay positive. See ya.